Hi everybody, welcome back to another ROG Ally non-extreme version. And in this one, well, what else could it be but Resident Evil? Yes, we're going to be wandering around the Raccoon City Police Department's building in Resident Evil 2 Remake to kind of answer the questions, does it run on the ROG Ally non-extreme? Does it run well? And a little bit of, is it a good game to play? Well, I mean, I guess the first thing we should get out of the way is Resident Evil 2 is an remake, that is, well, and the original, but the remake especially, is an absolute classic. This is a fantastic game. Oh, they're trying to get in. It is marvellous. The atmosphere of Resident Evil 2 Remake is beyond compare, I think. One of the things that happens, though, with it is that when you play it for a long time and you finish playing it, you think, oh man, the graphics in this game were absolutely amazing. Ooh, well, he's not getting out for that, is he? And then when you come back to it a while later, the graphics can look a little bit soft and a little bit not kind of current. That's the wrong word, really. If you look at Leon's hair in this video, you might be able to see it. Kind of how it looks a little bit washed out. It looks like it could do with a little bit more contrast. But the whole game's kind of like that. And then when you come back, when you've been playing it for a few hours, that kind of goes. You don't really see that anymore, and you just really sort of enjoy the atmosphere and the look of the game. Kind of becomes, that is what it is, kind of thing. I know that sounds a little bit odd, but I know when I first started playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, I was a little bit, when it came to the graphic qualities of some of the, some of the areas. But once you've been playing it for a while, it really does sort of, the immersion takes over, and it is absolutely fantastic. So make no doubt about it, Resident Evil 2 Remake is a great game to play. And of course, mainly designed for consoles to start off with. It works great on the ROG Ally in terms of the controls. And actually, as you can see, if you look in the top of the screen near the middle, you can see we're getting a steady 60 frames per second. Now, remember, this is the non-extreme version of the Ally. So the way that I get the decent performance about this is that instead of running the screen at 1080p, I knock it down to 720p, 60 hertz. Obviously the games, I tell them that it's 720p, not 1080p. I turn VSync on. In fact, let's have a look at the settings so you can see what I'm running at. Options, graphics. So borderless window, 720p, ray tracing off, as you can imagine. See, we're only running a load of 2.9 gigabytes. So FSR is on ultra quality, which means the game is rendering. In fact, that shouldn't be there. The game is rendering, probably, instead of rendering at 720p, it's rendering at 700p. And the FSR is upscaling it to that. 60 hertz, frame rate is 60, VSync is on. We've got anti-aliasing. We're on mediums for a lot of the stuff. We could probably turn them up to high, maybe some of it. But I think sometimes the trick with the non-extreme version of the Ally, and it's not even a trick really, but is not to rely too much on post-processing. So things like FSR. Sometimes you're better off turning off FSR and just going with native. And that way you're not putting that pressure on the combined GPU and CPU, because it has an APU, I think, doesn't it? That sort of thing. So that tends to help. Also, the fact that we're playing handheld, which means that our TDP, kind of the power that the machine's allowed to use, is meant to be sort of 15 watts, but I mean it goes up and down and around to that, and I think that's a great leveler. The fact that we're running at 15 watts TDP, because the extreme, although it can go much higher, and with the processor it has, it can take advantage of higher power. When you actually, it's a liquor, isn't it? When you're actually running at 15 watts, and especially when you knock this down to 720p. The difference isn't that great. And so I think if you're in the market for a handheld, the way I kind of put it is that if you've already got a gaming PC and a mature Steam library, then maybe look at the Steam Deck, However, if you want a cheap way into PC gaming and don't have a gaming PC already, and if you, for example, you're on a pretty tight budget, then something like a ROG Ally, especially the non-extreme version, when you can pick it up cheap, could well be a way in. I mean, Best Buy was selling this beauty for a limited time, and that's why I'd say I always recommend go to Best Buy's site and favourite the ROG Ally page, and you'll see that there's the non-extreme and the extreme version of the thing. And just check the prices regularly, because they were selling this for $300. Now, you can't really buy it in the UK anymore, but that is an absolutely fantastic price. That's like cheaper than a Nintendo Switch, and you're getting something that is much more powerful. Remember, at heart, this is a Windows 11 PC that just happens to be small and has controllers stuck on the side of it. So it can do everything that Windows 11 PC can do, and run any games that a Windows 11 PC can run. So that was a real bargain. Now I think it's gone back up to $400 now. So that's not a cheap piece of kit, but you're starting to get into spitting range of something like a Steam Deck at that point, aren't you? So whether that's something for you, then you'd really have to decide about it. But personally speaking, I've got a Steam Deck that that's what I bought just before Christmas, the Steam Deck OLED version 512GB. And don't get me wrong, it's great. It's a fantastic console experience. And I thoroughly enjoy playing it. You can just turn it on and you can jump into a game almost straight away, just like you can with your Xbox or your Switch or your PlayStation. When you turn the ROG Ally on, it's a Windows PC. So it boots up into Windows. You can have the Armory Deck software that you can see here that can kind of boot up, that gives you a choices of your game. Probably shouldn't have done that while there's a game running. There you go. So you can kind of choose the games you've got installed that way. So that is a little bit like a console. And you can bring up kind of your quick settings there. But at its heart, it is a Windows PC. And, Microsoft haven't done that much work in terms of preparing this, optimizing Windows for the handheld experience. These will all be...
I've got something to show you. It's important. Copy that. I'll be right there.
So these should all be classic environments that you'll be familiar with if you know Resident Evil. And it all looks so good. I absolutely love this game. Absolutely love it. Absolutely fantastic. So there we go. I've waffled on enough. Hopefully I've given you enough gameplay footage to kind of make a decision that if you're thinking about getting a ROG Ally and being able to play something like Resident Evil 2 Remake is ooh, hello. Ooh, that wasn't good, was it? Trying to think. I've probably missed some bits out, haven't I? Because I've just been running around so fast. It's a puzzle to do. Another map. It's locked from the other side. So we're kind of... Oh, what we got here? Some gunpowder. So we're kind of safe here for a little bit, aren't we? I think it's... Oh, here we go. Resident Evil survival horror at its best. Getting up again. They're both getting up. God, bastards. So anyway, as I was kind of saying, if you were thinking about buying a ROG Ally, need a handle for that, don't we? I think. If you're thinking about buying a ROG Ally and being able to play something like Resident Evil 2 Remake is one of the things that boxes you need to tick in order to be able to do it, then yes, it runs very, very well indeed. And if you've already got a ROG Ally and are wondering, is Resident Evil 2 Remake a good game to have for your ROG Ally? Then, you know, the answer there is absolutely yes. I don't understand why you haven't bought this already, because it's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, tell you what, let's pause the game. So, hopefully you found this video useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And of course, I'll see you again soon.